We're recording!
Yay!
Oh my god, this is so weird. We have not recorded in so long.
So long. Missed you guys.
Missed y'all. What's up? Don't do the intro or what?
Welcome to Two Black Girls, One Row.
Bitch, what are you doing?
Sorry.
We're
I
two
blanked out.
black-ass girls invade the whitest show on earth.
Bachelor in Paradise.
I'm Natasha.
And I'm Justine.
And we are back, guys. Back from vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Fully rested. So excited to be here.
Yeah, man. So much sleep.
I don't know about you.
Oh my
It's
God.
like a delayed response.
I
Like,
know,
do you want
because
to
I
be
haven't gotten this much sleep in so long. And in the car on the way back from Mexico, I was like, oh my God, I haven't been this happy in so long. It was like weirding
my
me
God.
out. I was like, oh my God, I'm so jolly. Woo.
well rested and didn't have to go to work
Yep.
for a whole week and all that? That'll definitely make you happy. That's for damn sure. So for today's episode, I feel like Bachelor in Paradise was like ages ago.
So long ago. And it was so much content that we absorbed, yet I feel like it was a long time ago.
I feel like it was so long ago. So we are bringing it back from the dead. This episode is our deep dive into major themes that came up on Bachelor in Paradise. As we know, and we've said many times, Bachelor in Paradise was filled with a cast of very problematic men.
Yep.
And just a mess. Just a lot of messy stuff happened this season. And it gave us a lot of juice to dissect today. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm very excited for this episode.
Yeah, we have a lot to
fun.
say about this one.
Yeah, we have a lot to say. We have a lot of stories to share. It's a lot of good, like, dating relationship shit that came up on Paradise. So I'm excited to get into it. But before we get into the deep dive, of course, we always have announcements.
Yep.
Justine, take it away.
Okay. So, like we promised you guys a nice month ago.
A smooth month ago.
Yep. We are going to have Venmo John on the podcast.
Woo! So excited! He's our mystery male guest.
Yes. He'll be our second man that we've ever had on the show.
Had on the show. We are very selective of who we allow on this podcast, particularly if they are of the male species. So, I'm personally very excited to talk to him. I have so many questions, and he's just a very intriguing figure, I feel like.
Very, very, should be very interesting to see his perspective, especially on your guys' questions. Really excited about that. And just some of the, like, inside scoop about Paradise, man, because he was all over.
In Paradise, and then also, of course, we always do, like, the racial angle, so, like, being probably the only Asian man, not ever on the show, because they did have Blake, they had Blake, Hawaiian
and then
guy.
They've had Indian guys.
Right, but none have lasted not nearly as long as Venmo John and have made, like, a name for themselves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so definitely curious to dig into that perspective. So yeah, yay, next week. Venmo John.
Oh, I wonder if he's watched Insecure, if he knows about Asian Bae.
Asian Bae. Yeah. Oh, that's true. We should pick his brain and see.
We should.
Probably not, but
probably not. Maybe he'll grow a man bun. And then following our interview with Venmo John is another mailbag episode. Woo!
Yes! I hope you guys liked our mailbag with Rachel. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Me too.
You guys, have some mess going on in your lives.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah.
We all do. It was nice to read some other people's mess. And two, very just thought out questions and complexities going on in our lives that you wanted some feedback on. So hopefully we helped. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of you guys are very self-aware, which is awesome.
That's good. Step 1, self-awareness.
Yeah, exactly. And if you need a little help for step 2, we're here. Me, Natasha, and John are here to answer your questions.
Yes, we sure will be.
Yep. So if you have friendship questions, work questions, dating questions, email us at the number 2 blackgirls, the number 1 rose@gmail.com. John is the quote unquote nice guy who managed to become the pimp of paradise. So I'm sure he has a lot of knowledge to drop for everybody. And if you want to get his expert opinion, email us. This week into next week, we'll give you like some exact dates going forward on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But just email your questions in as soon as possible.
Yes, and preferably questions if they're related to the themes that we discussed today.
Yes.
Please.
That would be
the
great.
good, juicy stuff we want to hear. So, yeah.
And then third announcement, oh my gosh, we have merch. You guys should already know.
Y'all already know.
Yep.
Get your merch. Come on. That's a good ignorant. We need to sell this merch.
Oh my god. I got my mug in the mail, and I have been drinking my apple cider vinegar and lemon juice.
Oh my god.
Email us if you drink a nice concoction in the morning, a nice detox concoction.
Justine is all about her apple cider vinegar.
I love it.
Like, religiously does this shit. It smells rancid.
Horrible.
And I can't. No.
Tastes disgusting. Does everything for you. It's just fantastic.
This is true.
Support the podcast. Be a walking billboard for us.
Yes.
If you're part of this community, be proud to represent.
Oh my god, yes.
Yep.
Please. Who doesn't want our avatar faces plastered on
your boobs at the gym?
On your boobs at the gym, on your little tote bag.
Yep.
You can never have too many tote bags. That's how I say.
Truly. Yes.
So get your merch, guys.
And you can get your merch at www.teespring.com/2 black girls 1 rose. And that'll be in the description box also.
Sure is.
And once you get your merch, take a photo and tag us on Instagram. Because we're on Instagram now. You can put us on your story. And we're now on Instagram. And we are interactive with you guys pretty much every day.
Particularly if you tag us in your story. We always repost it on our story and give a little shout out. And I love to see that. You guys are like rate, reviewing, subscribing us, just screenshotting yourself listening to the podcast and posting it. Like, love that shit. Spread this podcast to your friends. There are loads of Bachelor fans out there, or non-Bachelor fans, just people who just want to listen to two girls talk mess. Yeah. And they would greatly appreciate you introducing them to this fabulous podcast. So
absolutely.
Definitely tag us and put us in your story, and friend us and hit us up in DM and all that good stuff on Instagram.
And there's a rumor coming out that The Hills is coming back. So if you want us to start reviewing The Hills, start sharing us. Yeah. Okay?
The threats. It's true. So many people have hit us up like, can you guys talk about this show, that show, this show, that show? Would love to, but need your support in return. Thank you. Rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at 2 BLK Girls, 1 Rose. Also on Facebook, also on Instagram. Thanks.
Yay!
Okay, so that's it for announcements. We do, though, have a couple church announcements.
Yay!
Which we literally have not done this segment so long, because we didn't do it for Rachel. So we've been building up these emails. But whip out your program, y'all. We're going to church.
Yep.
What we got?
Going into the inbox. So thank you for the love, Adrian, Cynthia, Maggie, and someone who asked us for a fake name, so Petunia, had a little story about her friend who's liberal and her boyfriend who's conservative, and how they kind of get along. They're still in the beginning stages of their relationship, but how they're kind of like meeting the family and trying to get along and do all that stuff. So thank you, Petunia, for your story. Then we have a couple of really special emails that we had. We had a woman, Leslie, who is a sunflower farmer in North Dakota.
Oh my God, Leslie, I love you.
I love this email so much, Leslie. I read it so many times.
She's like a botanist in North Dakota. I've never even met anybody from... No, that's not true. I've met one person from North Dakota. But still, you don't meet too many people from the Dakotas. No. So this was amazing.
This was phenomenal. And also, I really admire your passion for foliage. It's great. But she also said that our finale episode for Becca's season, how we called her the queen of what was it? White liberal.
The vision of liberal white female privilege. Mm-hmm. Yup.
Oh, well, yeah. How that was changing her mindset on some things, and I'm sure being in North Dakota, it probably took that to change your mind. Because, yeah.
I'm glad we were a catalyst to at least opening your perspective. Or,
yeah.
All that jazz.
Yeah, so big shout out to Leslie. And then also big shout out to Haley, who is newly single because her boyfriend ain't shit and she decided to break up with him after one of these episodes. So yes. Haley, shout out to you, girl. Out here
shout out to
single.
Haley. Oh my god.
Broke up with that man who I'm sure was garbage, and now you're out here getting ready to make yourself ready for somebody new and fabulous and amazing who's going to treat you right and be great. So
yes.
Shout out to Haley.
To inspire breakups.
I love this.
Or not breakups, just women realizing like their men ain't shit.
Yeah.
And maybe us talking about ain't shit men enough on this podcast has brought some people to realization. So happy to help.
Mm-hmm. And that's it for the church announcements this week.
Awesome. I do have some Bachelor Nation news.
Yep.
First and foremost, Joe Grocery Store Joe is killing it.
No. Killing what?
Dancing with the Stars.
Killing what? My 2 eyeballs? Oh.
Killing everybody's eyeballs. Killing just the activity of dance.
Yeah, even just like the name of the show. He's just tarnishing.
Murdering it. Good Lord. Mm-hmm. It is week 5 of Dancing with the Stars. I do not watch Dancing with the Stars. I haven't been watching. I sometimes catch a clip here and there. Mm-hmm. But it's like week 5 and he's still somehow there and he is horrible.
Yeah, he's really bad.
Like, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, Jordan, for whatever reason, was on.
Who was also offbeat.
Who was also god-awful. But I guess the theme was like a triples dance or a trio,
yeah.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. So him, Joe, and the girl that they're paired with did a dance to I'm Too Sexy. Classic 90s, like... such a 90s song.
It's such a cheeseball anthem.
Cheeseball anthem.
Yeah.
They did a dance and it was absolutely atrocious.
It was so bad, you guys.
People are saying that it appears that Joe is getting worse each week. Yes. Some people on Twitter are saying, like, is it just me or is Joe getting worse with every dance every week?
Well, yesterday's was literally they were doing the YMCA. Like, it was bad. And they weren't even in sync with that.
No, fully offbeat from step 1. Like, what? But he's still out here because these Bachelor Nation fans and these, thirsty 15-year-old white white girls are turning out these votes.
Yep.
And this last episode, Tinashe went home. And
which is preposterous.
Had probably one of the highest scores.
She is by far the best dancer on the cast. By far. Tinashe can dance. Are you
watching it? Are you watching every season?
No, but I know Tinashe can dance.
Yeah, I assume because she's a pop singer or whatever.
She's a pop, and like seeing her perform live at places, I'm like, oh my god, she's a good dancer, and there she goes.
She just went home. People are fucking pissed. But this is what happens when you have shows. I generally don't like shows where America is like part of the voting process because. Fuck America!
I know.
Don't know shit. We're not dance judges. Like, we're just voting for who we want to see win and who's the best looking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, like, it's generally not fair because someone who is amazing is going home, always going to go home over some trash, dancer because America loves him or whatever. So that's exactly what's happening right now. And, loved Grocery Store Joe, but I can't justify him being on here. The few clips I've seen, and it's bad. It's real bad.
So bad.
so bad.
Shout out to my friend James who said, this is what happens when 50-year-old white women get involved.
Yes.
That was his quote.
Oh God, this made me think of American Idol.
Yeah.
Was this like season 2 or 3 when it was Clay Aiken versus Ruben?
Yeah.
What is his name?
Ruben Studdard, yeah.
And motherfucking Clay Aiken almost won that shit.
He did. He almost won.
I was like, are you serious? America,
Remember?
Black American, you better get out here and make Ruben win. I'm gonna be pissed if y'all let these 50-year-old white women vote this corny ass Clay Aiken into the winning spot. He almost won. I was
remember
so pissed.
when he was supposed to be like attractive to women? And he was the
Clay
gayest
Aiken?
thing walking. Like,
jeez. He was very obviously, in my opinion, a homosexual male.
me too. It was so obvious, and
But
he
they
was
were
so
trying-
uncomfortable in the character that they
Yes,
put
that they were
him
trying
in.
to put him in like this. I don't even know. Hunk of a hunk.
Almost like a Jonas brother. Almost
Or
like an
yeah.
innocent hunk.
Pop, yeah, I was like, hunk is not the word, but they played
Yeah.
up his like nerdiness, but it was supposed to be like his sex appeal, and I'm like, no, we are not attracted to him, nor is he attracted to us. So what is this? I can't.
Yes.
But it's reminding me of that. When you give America the chance to vote, they almost will vote in just pure garbage.
Yep.
As the winner, and we can't do this. So yeah, anyways, good luck to Joe, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Next piece of, not really news, but just something I noticed on social media that I thought was odd. Jason a la Wolf of Wall Street
Oh,
from
yeah,
Becca season. He has more Instagram followers than Blake. Isn't
How?
that weird? I don't know. He has 560,000 and Blake has 534,000.
No, Blake must have done an audit, and that's how many he got rid of bots. There's no way. Blake is so much hotter than Jason. That's
so
insane.
much hotter. He was the runner-up.
Right.
I thought he was like America's like sweetheart or whatever the fuck. I didn't know 560,000 people would like Jason. I was shocked that he even had 500 something thousand. I thought he would have been lower down, like in the 2s or something.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah. Because we didn't really, at least I didn't really connect with Jason.
I know a lot of white women connected like really, really well with Jason. White women love a Jason.
Really? Over a Blake, though? Why? What is that?
I guess because he was like more regular.
I guess.
Like
so
he was.
boring.
Yeah, that's also part of it. He was like boring too.
Yeah.
But not too boring because he had a gay brother, you know?
Oh, God. They really were I'm so mad about this because I just know how proud the producers were to have this man up here with his brother who was gay and just had him all up on the screen. Look at us. Look, we're diverse.
Yes.
Look at us. We are not prejudiced. Look at Jason and his gay brother. Like, I'm so mad that they gave them that opportunity.
I know. And how they ran with it too was just a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, not really news. Just thought that was odd.
That is weird.
Trailing Jason in the IG followers.
Yeah.
And then the last piece of news, which is like the only news that is happening right now in the Bachelor Nation world, is this fucking Jenna and Jordan shenanigans is still going on. You guys,
you gotta catch me up because I have muted it all. I don't know what these niggas are doing.
What's going on?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. So just to recap, like a month or two, whatever ago, Reality Steve posted a series of tweets from Jenna, allegedly from Jenna, to some mystery man. And in the tweet, she was claiming how Jordan ain't shit. She's not in love with him. You know, she's just basically using him and was in love with this other guy that she was texting or whatever the hell. Jordan went on Reality Steve and confirmed that he believes the texts are Jenna. He also saw some emails from the mystery guy. Like, he saw a lot of other shit that we didn't see that led him to even say, yes, this is Jenna who sent these texts. I know my Jenna. I know the girl I was with. I know the way she talks. This is her. Jenna denied up and down and around town that this was not her. She was going to prove it, blah, 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 blah. And then, in like the weirdest plot twist ever, a few weeks ago, she came forward and accused Jordan of being the one to fabricate the text.
Wait, what?
You didn't see that?
I'm telling you, anytime I see them, I'm like, both of you need to just move on. I cannot.
No, girl, this shit is still going on. So,
Oh
yes.
my God.
She, in a weird plot twist, came forward and accused Jordan of being the one to make up the text. And sends her, I don't know if it was her, she didn't put out a statement, it was more like through her lawyer. The lawyer sent her some bogus-ass statement. I don't know who Jenna's lawyers are, because they stay posting shit online and stay doing shit that seems real, like either illegal or just not very professional. I don't know.
Can you imagine that you went to law school for 3 years and spent like $800,000 to go to law school, and you are defending Jenna in the case?
Litigating Jordan and Jenna's Bachelor in Paradise foolishness.
With reality Steve in the middle of it? Oh my God.
Like, what has your life become? So yeah, the lawyer sends all kind of threatening paperwork to Jordan, talking about you fabricated these texts. You must admit it. Jordan flat out screenshotted the paperwork and posted it on his Instagram. And was like, everybody, look at this bullshit.
Wow.
I thought that was hilarious, to be honest.
That's funny.
Well, it keeps going. This week, Jenna released another statement, report, whatever the hell, saying that she had a comprehensive forensic examination done of her devices by some third-party company, I guess, who did a sweep of her phone and stuff and confirmed that none of the text messages in question came from her phone.
Oh.
Now, I don't know what the hell to believe.
Yeah, because that seems
like she had her phone swept by some software or whatever, and they didn't find any trace of it, right? So many questions, like, who's the mystery man? Like, what the hell is that?
Right, yeah, because this man emailed Reality Steve.
Yes.
Unless this is a whole plot for Jordan, which wouldn't surprise me.
But that is just so disgusting. Like, who has time for that?
Is somebody who is a Wilhelmina model in Crystal Springs, Florida.
Oh my God. I don't, as much as I can't stand Jordan, I just can't see him doing all of this. Like,
I know. It's a lot. It's also very evil, and it's just a lot.
Yes. And who is like this? I don't know. So it's either Jenna's been telling the truth and it isn't her, and this mystery man is the real psycho who did this whole thing to, I don't even know.
Or Jordan is the mystery man.
Or Jordan is the mystery man. I feel like this is like a Gossip Girl that we're watching. Like, who's Gossip Girl? Who the fuck is this? Who did all these texts? So, yeah, Jenna put out her report saying that this shit did not come from her phone, so this is nuts, and her team is still investigating, and yada, yada, yada. She also put out a statement also basically bashing Jordan, and the both of them are doing he said, she said, saying how Jordan, his whole demeanor changed after they were together, and how he let it be known that there is only room for one celebrity in the relationship. He was going to be the more successful one.
Celebrity?
He wanted to make more money. Celebrity. Y'all need to use this shit very loosely, because y'all need to stop. And, put out a whole statement basically saying that Jordan is the one who ain't shit and treated her like shit. And it's just a mess.
Ugh.
It is just a mess. No. Like, who's the mystery man? Who's Gossip Girl? That's the real question.
Yes.
It's the real question here. So anyways, this Jenna and Jordan mess is a nice segue into our agenda for today, where we are diving into 5 major themes from Bachelor in Paradise. I'll just lay out the themes quickly. We're going to talk about dating with ulterior motives. We're going to talk about desperation and love. We're going to talk about self-sabotage. Do opposites attract? And the last theme is female friendships. So all of these things came up in good form on Paradise. And so we're going to just dive right into the first theme, dating with ulterior motives. Thanks to Jordan and Jenna for setting that up for us. I'm going to say, I've said this before, this is not the last time that we're going to see scandals like this.
Oh,
in
no.
this franchise. And Jenna and Jordan weren't even the first one. Remember Luke and Stassi from Winter Games? Yeah. Where it was revealed afterwards that Luke allegedly had a full-on girlfriend the whole damn time. And he's like also a country singer or some shit. It was like,
I was gonna say, and was like mysteriously going on tour that next month that Bachelor Winter Games premiered. Like, oh my god.
So this is not the first time where we've seen some scandal come out where somebody was clearly a farce. And as we said, like, we're only going to see more of this because The Bachelor now, it's not even just about the show, it's about what you can get from being on the show.
Exactly, yep.
And there's so much money in Instagram and this sponsorship influencer life.
And just like opportunity to like travel or do charity work and stuff like that, which is always cool. But look at baby Becca.
Baby Becca, she's literally just having a baby and she is getting coins.
A whole docuseries.
Docuseries. And she's just posting some pictures of her pregnant belly and tagging some foolishness and it's getting paid, y'all. Getting paid.
Yep.
We got Grocery Store Joe. He's all up on Dancing with the Stars. He's really getting paid because we know that check is serious.
That's a good check. Yep.
And so like I feel like in the Bachelor world, the whole question of like, is the person here for the right reasons? Like that's always been like a thing. Are they here for the right reasons?
Even before Instagram, it was?
Even before Instagram, that was always the thing. There was always, it was always assumed that everyone who's cast is here for the right reasons, and then it gets revealed that this guy actually has a girlfriend, and that girl actually is here for fame. And there's always like a few people in the cast that were like outed as not being there for the right reasons.
Right.
Now we can all assume there ain't nobody here for no damn right reasons. Like everybody's here for some other thing. Sure, there's like the hope of love, and I feel like regardless, we'll always have like the die-hard hopeless romantics like Annalise who are on the show who like genuinely seem to come there for love. But also there's mostly other people who are there for other reasons. They're trying to get an opportunity of some sort. They're trying to see what they can reap from being on the show. And to be honest, and I think we brought this up on, was it the Rachel interview maybe, that you kind of have to go on the show with some other ulterior motive. To be honest.
You got to.
You're one of 30 women. There's a 1 in 30 chance that you're going to actually land this man and be in love. Like, no, you need to go on there with a motive to sell something, to set up some opportunity, like
otherwise you're throwing money away.
Right, or else you're throwing money away. If your full-on sole reason is for love, and you have a 1 in 30 chance, that's not even a smart reason. That's not even smart.
Right.
That's just not a smart move on your part whatsoever. So yeah, it's interesting.
I remember back in the day when The Bachelor was on and Melissa Rycroft, I guess her name was. She was, because she like got dumped on TV, I think.
That was the one from Jason Mesnick, I think.
Yes. And she got like the farthest that I remember as far as like getting a job, because she got on Dancing with the Stars, she got a new man, she had a baby, and then she was on like Good Morning America. Like she was working. She was
hosting.
And that she was the only one. That was before Instagram.
Yeah.
So the opportunity was so limited before. Like you had to be so likable and genuine on TV, and now you really don't have to. Now you can be like Jordan and be totally fake. We don't know who Jordan is. That's why it would not shock me if he made up this whole man and went on this whole press tour this day of trying to bash this girl into the ground, because it's just he's a totally fake person. We have no idea who he is.
That's true. There are some crazy fame whores out there that might do literally just about anything to get a little bit of fame.
Exactly.
It's wild.
Yep.
Different time, man. But, outside of Jenna and Jordan, I mean, this season there was definitely quite a few people with ulterior motives. Leo was a fucking mess. Wes, the bartender, did a whole interview after the show, I think with Entertainment Tonight or ET, whatever, where he even said, like, Leo was acting a fool from day one. Like, he was definitely there for cameras. Like, he was setting shit up and just setting up drama from the minute he got there. Like, so he was obviously there for whatever reason. Not to find love, but to build a character of some sort. For whatever fucking reason. Who else? Camille. Camille knows damn well he was not into Annalise. I don't know what he came there for, but it was not to find love with Annalise.
No, it wasn't. No,
he definitely had some ulterior motives.
Yeah.
And both of those men are in the business, too.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm always side-eyeing anybody who's doesn't have like a job, but is there as like an aspiring model or aspiring this, aspiring whatever. Even I had to think back to last season, Bachelor in Paradise. Corinne, she had the whole mess with Demario
Corinne,
and all of that. Corinne, she had a full-on boyfriend the entire time.
No.
Yes, it got revealed ASAP with the whole Corinne Demario mess where they had to shut down production. She went home. One of the first pieces of news that came out was that she had a boyfriend, like outside the show.
Wow.
And so,
damn, Demario is dumber than I thought he was. God damn.
Ooh, Demario?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb. the two of them. The pair of yous. Yes. And then even my ex-baby daddy, Colton, everybody's been side-eyeing him. And his dubious ass intentions. My nigga's filming 3 shows in 1 calendar year. And you really out here for love, or what's going on here, bro?
You really have this much trouble looking for love, Colton?
Right. And you looking this fine, you really can't find nobody. Huh?
And you are like 26. You need a wife this badly?
This bad? You just started dating like not that long ago? You ready to find a wife? Really? Okay.
Oh boy.
So yeah, a lot of instances of ulterior motives in Bachelor worlds, like 100%. In terms of like my own personal experience, so y'all know I'm, heavy into online dating. Fucking sucks. I'm still out here. I would have to say the worst thing about online dating is that you have no clue what anyone's motives are. It's, you don't know who's here for a serious relationship. You don't know who here is just trying to fuck. It's basically just a hodgepodge of people all wasting each other's time. That essentially is what online dating is. There's no clear indication at all of, like, I'm genuinely looking for something serious. There's no way for me to even say that on my profile without writing it explicitly and then looking like a psycho.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, you're kind of like hoping and wishing that the guy you're going out with is also looking for the same thing as you. But there's a good chance he also just wants some ass. Like, you just don't know.
I think that most dating is like that, though.
Yeah.
I would argue that dating in real life is like that as well.
Yeah. Dating in real life and dating online, it's the same pool of people. It's the same shit. It's just another avenue of getting to each other. One thing I did used to like about OkCupid, so OkCupid, I'm not on it anymore, but they used to have an option, they might still have it, I don't know, where you can literally check off what your motive is. So you can check long-term dating, short-term dating, whatever the fuck that is.
What is that?
Casual sex, or just here for friends, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I used to like that little category because I'd come across a profile, I'm like, oh, this guy looks cool. And then if down below he just checked off casual sex, I'm like, all right, we're clearly a match. Yeah. So I liked that you had a little window into these people's motives. But other than that, it's genuinely like a complete crapshoot.
And you'd think that'd be one of the perks of online dating, is that you would eliminate people by that, at least by a couple of ways, right? Like, you don't have to go out and then go on a date with somebody to find out if they if they want a relationship or not. You'd think with online dating, you could say, okay, you want a relationship or no? And then we go out or no. You waste my time in an outfit or no?
Right. It's hard, because even with the apps like Tinder, for instance, Tinder used to be like the hookup app. Tinder is no longer the hookup app. People are getting fucking married from Tinder.
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
from
that.
Our high school. I'll tell you offline her name, but
okay.
She got full on married like last summer from Tinder.
Wow.
Yes. And then so you have that. So Tinder used to be one thing, and now there's actually serious people on Tinder finding each other. Then you have other apps like Hinge, for instance. That's what I'm on now. I actually kind of like it. It's supposed to be more like serious, like more serious people, because there's like prompt questions that you like have to fill out, versus Tinder, where there's like literally you don't have to write anything, you just post names. Yeah. And so Tinder, like Hinge is supposed to be a little bit more serious or whatever, but there's definitely like losers on Tinder who clearly are there for ass. So it's like there's no, if like everything's all mixed up now, you don't know who motives are who, what's the hell is going on. Question for you.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you can help me, this online dating foolishness. How do you decipher someone's motives? What's the easiest surefire way to figure out?
You ask them.
Do you do this on like the first date, second
Yep.
date?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, they could still lie to you.
Yeah, no,
Most
they
guys
definitely
are not
could still lie to you, but there's always a chance someone's going to lie to you.
True.
They could lie to you about their age. They could lie to you about how many kids they got. They could lie to you about all kinds of important things. But if you make it up front of like, and it makes it so much easier when you go on an app because the introduction is already there. You could say, why are you on the app?
Yes. I think if you're going to ask, just flat out, like, what are your intentions, whatever, you have to do it on the app before you go on the date.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I would say. Because once you're on the date, that fucker can lie to you, like, straight to your face. Oh, you're here, like, what are you here for? And, oh, no, what are you here for? And then they can hear what you say and be like, oh, yeah, me too.
Oh, no,
really,
you
just want
never...
some ass.
No, you never. Shout out to Dustin on the friend zone. You never go first. You
never go
always go
first?
second. That's his motto. Always go second. If you ask a question like that, the only intro that they would get is, why were you on the app? And if they're like, oh, just to meet some cool people, just to see what happens, they're there for sex.
Yeah, that's true.
Because a lot of guys are not going to flat out say on the first date,
right.
at least some of these pussy ass niggas that we be meeting, it's just for sex. But
Right.
if they say like, oh, I want something serious, or oh, I'm at a certain age and I'm looking for this, and this for the rest of my life, that's different. But if they're kind of like searching for an answer, it's ass.
It's also easier, which is why I think it's better to ask on the app. Because it's easier to say to a woman or for a woman to say back to a man, like, yeah, I'm here for casual sex.
Yeah, that's
on
true.
the app versus saying that in person to their
In
face.
person?
That's awkward. Like, so yeah, you're better off kind of clearing that air before going on the dates. And that leads me into a story, of course.
Oh, boy.
Because I've been learning, I've talked about this dumbass so many times. Fucking German dude.
Oh, no.
I always bring him up because I learned so much, I feel like, from this little experience. So definitely from him, I learned more than anything that you have to clarify someone's motives, like, sooner rather than later. You can't let that shit linger on. Because with him, I was doing a lot of assumptions. I assumed he had good intentions. I assumed that he was really into me, that he wasn't just there for sex, because we were not having sex. I was not giving it up.
Right.
And he still kept hanging around. We still were going out for like a couple months. And I was like, okay, he must really be into me, particularly since, or he can't possibly be here just for sex and we're not even having sex. He must really like me for me.
Yeah.
Then when that nigga ghosted on me, I was like, nope, he was there for some ass.
Yep.
And he reached his limit and I wasn't giving it up and he was like, fuck this, bye. But I feel like I could have saved myself a lot of like aggravation or whatever if I had just clarified the motives either before we even went on the first date or just very early on. I shouldn't have let it linger on and us get so close without me being like, so what's your deal?
Especially if you don't have multiple dick hanging around.
Like he was my one and only.
Yeah, you gotta have at least 3. If you're not gonna clarify intentions and like do all that stuff, you gotta be juggling 2.
Yeah.
Because what that tells me is that he was satisfied with whatever non-sex was going on that was fulfilling him, emotional or whatever. And then when he ghosted, either he found somebody else, or he was just like, you know what, this isn't working. Maybe there's a faster one I can get on that hinge app. Like,
yep, I think that's what it was. Like, she was cool and all, but I need somebody who's cool and putting out. So,
yes.
So nice to meet you, Natasha, but bye.
Yep. Which is, I mean, absolutely horrible, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The worst.
Gross.
Do you have any experiences?
I don't.
Have you dated with ulterior motives?
Actually, just have. Well, actually, you know what? I do. When I was flown out to go visit someone,
Yes, I remember.
And
this.
did not clarify the intentions. Actually, I did clarify the intention beforehand, and that pussy bitch ass nigga lied to me. And he said that we were going to be X, and it turned out to be like 3, like not even in the alphabet. It was numerical.
I was like, what? So you went down with one set of intentions and motives and one picture of what the hell this was, and he was on a whole other.
He was giving
a whole other game plan.
The weirdest mixed signals, and emotionally, he just was not ready for me to go down there. And I don't know why. Still to this day, I don't know why he had me go down there. It still confuses me if I think about it too hard. Yeah. And we ended up having some very, very intense conversations after the fact. But that was probably the biggest example of like, okay, people can lie to you. Like, even though people they might be clarifying and you might back them into a corner and they give you an answer, they could still lie. So you just have to, live your life, trust your gut, and keep going. But I do know some people who have been on some sugar daddy apps. And some people who have been on like apps like that where the intentions are extremely clear, which I think is very interesting. Like gay sugar daddy apps, and then also straight sugar daddy apps. Yeah.
Where everyone is here like, I'm looking for this.
I'm a sugar baby. I'm a sugar daddy.
I'm a sugar daddy.
Let's match up and see.
Put it on the table. Yeah. Yep. And this is it. Yeah. I mean, that too, I mean, those are like business transactions. So you got to have all the terms and conditions laid out before y'all get into anything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. If you guys are on one of those apps, email us and tell us a story from those apps. Because I've heard all different types of things of like apps that won't allow nudes, which I find very interesting because I would think that's one of the main reasons why people are there.
On the sugar baby things?
On the sugar baby. The sugar babies are not allowed to have nudes.
Okay. Interesting.
So, I don't know. Just your experience with, like, being a sugar baby or being a sugar daddy if you listen to this podcast on your private jet. Email us.
Hey! Slide in the DMs, too. Shit. I would love, because that's not even ulterior motives. That's, like, blatant motives are out.
Yes. Very clear.
In the raw. Yes. And what is that type of dating scenario? Because
that's actually clearer than most regular relationships.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the clearest of clear. Most relationships exist in gray areas for most of the time.
Yep.
Until, like, somebody's at their wit's end and then they're like, okay, this is enough. Like, I'm in love with you. What do you feel? Like,
right.
Generally, most people are in gray areas. So, oh my God, that's interesting. Yeah. If you're in a sugar baby, sugar, whatever relationship, hit us up. Tell us dating with clear ass motives. What is that like?
I would love to know.
I have another little story. So this is about a friend, not my story, but about a guy with some disgusting ulterior motives, man. Oh no! I had a friend. She was seeing a guy who was a widower.
Okay.
His wife, young couple, and his wife died, and he said she died, I forget what he said, maybe like a year or 2 ago. So he was now, getting back into the dating pool, yada, yada, yada. Come to find out, so she kind of did her investigation, digging about this guy, found out from a friend of a friend of a friend. His wife died like 2-3 months ago.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And where'd she meet him? An app?
Online, yes.
No.
Met him online. And she's thinking he's, fully over his wife, and he's just now getting back into the dating pool, and it's all good or whatever. Nah, my man's wife just died like Tuesday.
Not even cold.
Not even cold
my
in the
God.
ground. And he was back out here trying to get some ass or whatever the hell. So he was lying and had definitely some other motives because he was you can't possibly be there for something serious.
No way.
I don't care if you say you're over your wife and her death or whatnot. That is too fresh. I'm sorry. That is real fresh. To be out here dating and have me in your mess thinking that this is serious. Right.
And for you to lie also.
And for you to just lie. Like, what is going on? So that is like the ultimate nightmare of dating somebody who turns out to have the most warped ass.
That is insane. Also,
Yeah.
for you to be online, like for you to go and set up a profile.
A full
If you're going to be
ass
that
profile.
nasty, just go outside. Just go to the bar and go find
And
somebody.
just pick
Like,
somebody up in the old-fashioned way.
yeah. Why are you doing all of this work online when you can just go outside and do it that way? It's much easier for somebody
Right.
like that who's just looking for ass. Like, come on.
Just the worst.
That's
Isn't
wild.
that terrible? Yeah,
That's crazy.
That is terrible. You don't wish that on anybody.
No.
Because you already deep in, you got feelings. You know,
Yeah.
they might have been fooling around and stuff already, and then
Yeah.
and then you come to find out that the guy that you're falling for is freshly just left his wife, or not even
Yeah.
left. She left him because she died. Like,
Oh, God.
not that long ago, and you
Right.
were caught up in this mess.
And he lied about it.
And he fully lied about it because he knew it was shady.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
The worst.
So yeah, that's dating with ulterior motives. Jesus Christ. If you have questions, if you're dealing with that right now,
Yeah.
in your dating life, your friend's dating life, you need advice, Venmo John will be here next week. Send us an email. 2blackgirls1rose@gmail.com. All right, let's dive into the next theme.
The next one, speaking of shady, this is about desperation and love. And Bachelor in Paradise, I found to be a very interesting kind of pool of a mix of desperation and just wanting to have fun. None of the men there were looking to get down on one knee and propose.
No.
Not a one.
No.
Every single woman there was looking for a ring.
Reeked of desperation. The stench of desperation. Just floating all over the
Oh
island.
my God. We had, let's start off from the bottom up, I guess. Chelsea, who understandably was out here snooking for love because she has a baby. So she needs this. Also is in her 30s. Like, hello, let's go.
And Chelsea damn near threw her homegirl under the bus for some dick.
Yeah, just for some dick. Not even
Just-
for someone she had a connection with, just for some
Right.
dick.
Because Camille, what are y'all really talking about with Camille? Camille ain't nothing but a nice body. That is
Exactly.
it. And
That's
she damn near
it.
threw Annalise under the bus for this man. Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
Shoshana, they were calling her a witch. She was out here casting spells, throwing his face in the fire for Camille. After one beach date in the daytime, she was out here just going crazy. She came in, what are there, 3 weeks in paradise? She came on like day 17. Like, oh my God.
And by the end, had just like no self-respect left. Was just
None.
so just desperate for Camille's eye contact. Like, that she just looked so like embarrassingly desperate. It was really sad.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
sad.
T to the Ia.
To the ear. Ooh.
Out here, one of the queens of desperation. Hopefully not anymore. I feel like not anymore. But desperate to be the one for Colton in a way that I have never seen before because they never had sex. So I just really don't understand what was going on here.
She was dickmatized without getting any dick.
With no dick. I don't understand what this was about. But she was going up and down in her emotions like a polygraph, like bawling, going crazy, then happy and smiling the next day saying, oh, Colton would never do that. Oh, Colton, aren't you excited that we're not like that? Meanwhile, Colton is still wiping his tears away from seeing Becca looking her in the face. My God, in his therapy session with, who was it, Jordan?
David, the chicken.
David! Oh my God.
Full on therapy over not Tia, basically.
Yeah, right.
Jeez. Tia
Over
was,
someone who was full on engaged.
Tia was so thirsty to be this man's rebound. It was just terrible.
It was really, really sad to see. And I
Yes.
don't know I still don't know what it was based on.
Right. We still don't know what was it about Colton that she became so enthralled by after their one little weekend getaway. I don't get it.
I don't understand. And then the newly crowned queen of desperation, Annalise.
Oh my God.
who was in love with every man who came down the steps.
That was her husband.
Yep. Yeah, they were all, she could see them all proposing. She said that. I would love to know how many times she said that.
Because
I could see him getting down on one knee.
She was with Jordan,
Yep.
Kenny. I don't know, was there somebody else? And then Camille.
I feel like there was someone else in the middle.
Right. And then Camille, all of whom I think she talked about in, like, future husband, future marriage ways.
Yep.
Crazy.
And all of them definitely did not prioritize her in one way or another. Like, Jordan definitely prioritized Jenna. Obviously, he was full in love with her. Kenny was like, my daughter has a tap recital. I gotta go.
Later.
And she is in, like, 8th grade. Camille, who was definitely not interested, but also, like, I don't know why he took it so far.
Yeah, he was just going into, like, evil territory, because this was nuts. Like, you saw how into you she was, and how far into the future she was thinking, and you just kept going with it. Like, that is just cruel.
You're right. I guess he didn't not want to be liked. I think it was one of those situations where he didn't want her to, like, hate him.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those.
Which, I love that it backfired, because now everyone hates him, but still.
Watching Annalise, she made me pissed in a way, because I was just so annoyed to see a grown woman. She was one of the oldest women on the show, or one of the oldest people on the show. A grown woman who I would hope by this point in your life has it a little bit more together. But she was just so... I've never seen someone so freely giving of her heart to some ain't shit men than Annalise. I just wanted to scream, guard your heart. Like, don't you have enough life experience to know this by now? Like, I just didn't. I was just so perplexed and annoyed and pissed at her. Like, get your
and
shit
she's
together.
also afraid of everything else.
And she's afraid of the fucking moon in the sky and the dog that's barking down the street. Like... Girl.
She will run so fast away from anything else that is physically in front of her.
Yes.
But emotionally, she's not afraid to do anything. She will give it all up, which I find very interesting.
Yes, she runs towards love with anybody. When love is the one thing that most people run from because they're terrified.
Right.
My goodness.
Ooh, yeah. I think Annalise in particular, and then also maybe Chelsea too, because I remember Chelsea being, like, really infatuated with everyone in that same way, like everybody who came down the steps. She was like, oh yeah, he's my type because of this, he's my type because of that.
Yeah.
It's because their standards have gone down so low, which we said before on the podcast. I think Natasha made a point that was like, these girls just want somebody who's nice and hot. Like, that's not enough.
No, not at all.
Like, to be nice and for me to be attracted to you, everybody would be married by now.
Right. And those are two given things. You're supposed to be nice, and hopefully you end up with someone who you're attracted to. So these aren't, like, things you should be, like, put on your list. Like, what?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I think also, like, Chelsea and Elise are just, I guess, the overall question of, like, why do we get so desperate? Because I think this is... Not to say that men don't deal with being desperate, but this is, I mean, come on, this is definitely more of a female issue here, I would say.
Yeah, especially projected in media.
Particularly what we see, but then also just, I don't feel like men in the same way reek in our way of desperation. And I think for women, we have, I mean, the biological clock is just a real thing.
That's
just a real thing. You reach a certain age where you're like, fuck, I haven't found somebody yet, and I want to have the whole story of getting married and have a natural baby and all that stuff. Yes, sometimes get a little desperate and you end up settling for some dummies. I think also dating now, particularly like 2018, online dating, all of it fucking sucks in a way that it didn't suck 10 years ago, I would say.
Exactly. Yes.
And so I think a lot of people, a lot of women, men too, I guess I would fold men into this, are just sick of dating. And so they're just so desperate to make it work with just like anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think people, they're just sick of dating, and just eventually they're just like,
it's tiring.
It's tiring, and eventually you're like, you know what, this guy's nice enough. Let me just
this'll
really,
do.
fight to make this shit work.
Yep.
And so and then I think women too. I mean, we are more emotional beings. We're more in touch with our emotions. We're allowed to be in a way that men aren't allowed to be. And I think for us, we more easily can get blinded in love with someone and literally cannot see the red flags. I feel like men and women go through that, but I think women, we fall because we wear our heart on our sleeve a little bit more, that we more easily just get blinded by love and just fall into some bad situations, or just kind of get desperate for someone to like want us. And just don't see the signs. Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah, or you see the signs and you're like, well, you could just make exceptions for it. I think a lot of women make a lot of exceptions, which I know I'm guilty of. I know I am not at all like shaming any of these women who went on Bachelor in Paradise, because I have been at the point of desperation due to external factors. Not to this point where I'm on TV having a complete panic attack in a confessional, but like definitely to a point of desperation that's really, really dangerous for my mental health. For sure. For sure.
Yeah. And I think the issue is like going into dating where you're about to open your heart like to somebody else, like one of the most vulnerable things you can do. I feel like you have to go in with a clear, confident mind. You need to have a clear picture, one, of your worth, like first and foremost, your own self-worth. And then two, you need to have a picture of what it is you're looking for. Yeah. Which is where we run into these people in Bachelor in Paradise who are just like, I just want somebody nice who treats me well. Like, they're not going there with like any strong standards of what they're looking for. And so they're just running out of straight desperation towards anything because they are just looking for love. Period. Right. They're not looking for they're looking for a husband, period. They're not looking for like distinct qualities that are a match for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that looking for a husband week 1 went to looking for a connection by week 3. Like, not even serious relationship. It went down in how many days? Like, literally 15 business days. It went all the way down. That's too fast.
That's too fast. Way too fast.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oof. No one likes a person who reeks of desperation.
No, male or female.
Male or female. The thrill of the chase is, everybody loves that. Everyone loves a little bit of a chase. Yeah. Not a chase to the point where you're playing games. Now I don't even know what who are you? Like, what are we doing here? Not that kind of chase. Like, I still like some clarity, but I don't want it all out there, you know. That starts to scare people away. Yeah. When someone is so into you that you almost start to worry, like, are they become obsessed with me, or like, are they crazy? Like, that's when you start labeling people as crazy, when they're so desperately coming after you. And sometimes not even for you, it's just because the idea of you and like just wanting to be in love or wanting to be with somebody, and that shit is not cute. And
then where does that desperation like stem from? Because like you said, when you go into dating, you should be in there with a clear, confident mind. You should be there looking for a certain type of person. But most of the time, that's not the case. Most of the time, people are looking for validation from other people in some sort of sense. Whether that's if they are attractive, because they don't believe they're attractive physically. If they are like enough, I'll say that, like enough to be chosen by someone else. If it's for their families, we get a lot of emails from girls in the Midwest and South who are like, well, it's, you know, I've been with him forever and, you know, this is what it is. Or I'm 25 and I have to get married now. Girl, no, you do not. No, you do not. Oh, my Lord. I'll tell like a quick story now. A funny one. I was at the OBGYN this year, And I was like, do I have to freeze my eggs? And she was like, you have to leave my office. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, I read online that after 25, everything just dips down. And, I just don't want to have any issues. And da-da-da. She was like, you still have so many years where it's fine.
Right, yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about that right now. Oh, my God. We just get it.
Yeah,
It's a real fear.
Fear for many women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think it clouds them from having like a nice intentional dating process.
Yeah, and also ain't shit bitch ass niggas will smell that on you and prey on you and come find you and get you and ruin your life.
Yes, I was just thinking ancient men smell that shit from a mile away and play that shit up because they smell your desperation, but they also smell some insecurity there.
Yep.
They smell a little bit of a lack of self-love.
Yep.
They sniff that shit out and run with it. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful. That's why you really got to get your shit together before you go after, trying to fall in love with somebody.
Oh my God. The other night I was watching Iyanla, which is, the greatest.
I was listening to Super Soul this morning.
Oh my God, were you?
Mm-hmm. Love it.
I prefer to watch. She is just hysterical on that show.
Oh, she's great. I love her show.
Oh my God, it's so funny. So she had on Tshirts from Real Housewives of Potomac.
Oh my God. And her family and stuff?
Not her family, just her.
Ooh.
And it was just fixing her life. Because her divorce ruined her life.
Oh, yeah.
She was with that guy forever, and then he moved to New Jersey and got a new life without her and didn't even say anything. Didn't even care. And then this other woman named Veronica, who was some man who looked like a fucking, oh my God, he looked like the inside of a beehive. Like, he was so fucking hideous. He was so fucking ugly. Oh. She was drop dead gorgeous. Mm-hmm. She was so pretty. She had 3 boys with him. Mm-hmm. And she was still so thin. She's a great body. She's 34, so she's definitely young enough to still be out here finding somebody. Mm-hmm. And Yana kept asking her these questions why do you feel this way about him? Or what did he do to you? And she was like, I should have known when I was his 4th wife. I was like, girl.
Ooh, girl.
And then you had 3 kids by him?
Ooh.
What?
And
and they were only married for 5 years. I was like, how did this transpire? This woman was so afraid to not become her mother, not have a husband like her father, and she was running. Iyanla paraphrased it, that she was running so fast away from something and didn't know what she was running towards that she ran into exactly what she didn't want to be in.
From? Oh, geez.
She literally became her mother and married a man who was exactly like her father. Oof. And divorced him, and her life fell apart, and now she doesn't know what to do. She's just drop dead gorgeous with these 3 kids and doesn't know what's going to happen. It was so... The desperation was so bad, and I have never seen a face of desperation be so beautiful before.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Her and Charisse. Charisse is pretty. She can go get herself a nice little retired government worker or something. She's in D.C. A nice retired basketball player.
Right.
Nope.
It
can't. Just desperation holding them back.
Mm-hmm. And the lack of self-love, because if she loved herself enough or did the work on herself enough, she would have went in to dating with a little bit more intention than just trying to pick up anybody who will love her. Yep. Good God. Yeah. I would say now, as I'm getting older, I always joke, I'm so single, I'm desperate. I'm really not desperate. Definitely single, hella single. But I feel like the older I get and the more single I remain, the stronger my self-worth and self-love becomes, and the less willing I am to put up with foolishness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I feel like...
There's less time to waste.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, I feel, it sounds like polar opposite to Homegirl from Iyanla. Sound like she was getting older and she was just grabbing anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like the opposite is happening with me. The older I get, the more I'm like, I like sitting on this couch by myself and watching Netflix rather than out doing this with some fuck nigga. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think my desperation days are over. Left those in college.
Nice. That's
back
good.
then you just, I mean, at least
Oh
for me,
my
I was
God.
desperate for like just any male attention.
Yeah, anybody.
In
It didn't
general.
matter. Yeah.
Now I just need my Netflix and some Dominoes, and I'm good.
I also really wasn't looking for like a relationship in college. I
That
can't
too,
even lie.
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Literally just looking for attention. Like
Yeah,
that's,
I was just, like you'll do. It's
I'll
fine.
do. Yep. So yeah, that's desperation and love. Is that it?
That's it for desperation and love.
Yes. Interesting topic, and I feel like one that women of young, old, there's so many
Yes.
ages where you can just fall into this trap. So send us your questions, guys, and would love to hear Venmo John's take on this.
Oh my God, yes.
As a man-
like from a male perspective, like what it's
Male perspective, he's a man that has a lot of accolades and things going for him, so he technically doesn't even need to be desperate. I'm sure he has lots of women. But has he ever dealt with this? And
yeah.
just would love to hear his perspective. Send your questions, guys, 2blackgirls1rose@gmail.com.
2 black girls, 1 rose.
Our next theme, Justine.
Ooh,
Love our next theme.
self-sabotage. This is a bit of a trigger for me, but I'm gonna power through.
Power through, girl. I got you.
Yep. This is one that we saw blatantly with Kevin and Astrid on Bachelor in Paradise, where Kevin was really using his self-sabotage as like a defense mechanism
Yes.
against his growing and effervescent feelings for Astrid that came about very, very quickly. By episode 3, they were glued together like Siamese twins.
Yep, sure were.
And he was trying to get her to date other people. He broke up with her the night before fantasy suites. I mean, like, a lot. And that sort of self-sabotage I have only seen as a defense mechanism against guarding your heart.
Yes, yes. I feel like the most common form of self-sabotage is this form, where you are starting to develop such strong feelings for someone that it starts to scare you. And so you inadvertently just mess it up before it crumbles anyways, or before the other person hurts you. So you just take care of it yourself and just sabotage the shit out of it. Yeah.
Yes, because if you know how heartbreak feels, you know how bad it is, and you're just unsure if love is worth it. There are times where you could be unsure if, like, taking the chance of falling in love and then being heartbroken again is even worth doing it again. Or if being single is worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say also, so Kevin was definitely a big one. He was his own worst enemy. He's lucky that Astrid gave his ass another chance, because, I mean, she could have been like, this is crazy. No, I'm not getting back with you. But I think he dug himself out the hole, because he went home, did his work, came back, accepted full responsibility for the breakup, and blatantly said to her, she did absolutely nothing wrong. This was my issue. And so the fact that he was able to own his self-sabotage and recognize it, I think that's why she was able to give him another chance. I would also say Kendall and Joe. There's a little self-sabotage going on there with Kendall, I think.
Oh my God, that's right. Yes, I forgot about that. It was minuscule, but yeah, it was definitely there. Yeah.
I think Kendall always had reservations about Joe. But I think she knew deep down that he was a good guy, probably one of the best guys there, in terms of just like good-hearted person. But I think how committed he was to her was freaking her out. Yeah. Because she had all these reservations, but he was so sure about her. Yeah. And she even said, or she made some comment about how her last boyfriends used to like smother her or something like that. And so I think she was maybe seeing signs of that in Joe. The fact that Joe was literally not looking at any other woman on the island. Yeah. And he was so sure of her, and she liked him. She knew he was a good guy, but she was still kind of like unsure. I think her running off with Leo, and then running off with Venmo John, and then breaking up with Joe at the the 24th hour. I think all of that was a little bit of self-sabotage, because in the end, same thing. She came to her senses. Yep. She came groveling back. She accepted responsibility. She knew that this was her getting in her own way, and Joe was able to give her another chance, basically.
Yeah. And I think, too, Kendall put herself in this hole of being like so quirky and so weird that who could possibly live up to falling in love with her without thinking that her quirks are, you know, just almost like something fun and then toss her away. The fact that he didn't toss her away, I think really, really freaked her out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And she wasn't that like fun, quirky girl anymore. She was Kendall.
Yeah, she was just a girl.
Yeah.
And he just
and she was like
liked
her whole self, like beyond the taxidermy, beyond the sitting in the cemetery for parks and all that stuff for picnics. She was like, he saw her, which is very, very frightening when somebody sees you all the way through. Woo! It's scary place.
I think, Kendall and Kevin, they're both lucky because usually after you self-sabotage, there's always a moment where you're like, fuck. You like come to your senses and you realize what you did. But sometimes it's too late. Sometimes you go back, that person is gone.
Yep.
And they're not trying to hear how, you know, I accept responsibility, I sabotage it. They just are still pissed at what you did and don't take you back. So Kendall and Kevin were very lucky that their significant others gave them a shot.
Yeah. And I think we can definitely all learn from someone like Astrid, because Astrid had a lot of patience for Kevin. I think because Kevin was so vulnerable about his mental health. So she was able to also be vulnerable with her feelings in that way. Like, she kind of traded off with him. Like, okay, you say you went to therapy twice a week, and this breakup with Ashley and her extremely public engagement, like, really fucks you up. So it's okay that I say I love you first.
Yeah.
You know? Because I know, from my perspective, that I was always taught to kind of like be almost like mean to guys and to like ignore them and play hard to get, rather than teaching how to actually like be nice and be vulnerable and be intentional with my feelings. Because I was always taught that, like we said earlier, the chase is always fun and you never want them to stop chasing you. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That shit gets old mad quick, especially if you date old niggas like I do. They're not up for it. They're just not up for it.
No.
And that's so in the last couple of years, I've noticed that has really not worked in my favor, and trying to improve it is really, really difficult. Because in the last guy that I dated, I didn't verbally reciprocate a lot of the feelings that I had for him early on. And it ended up just being like a lack of trust and a lack of communication, instead of him like chasing me all around Manhattan with a dozen roses. Like, it just ended up with him not being able to trust me with his feelings.
So you feel like you self-sabotage and that you kept your cards so close?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like, oh no, he'll just like me more. But really, it was that he was like, I can't trust this girl if she's going to be all aloof and acting like she doesn't like me and acting like she's dating other guys when I was not dating other guys. And
God. It's the games. That shit gets old. Yeah.
That shit gets so old.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah. And it doesn't work out. So I know that for the next relationship that I'm in, I need to be more like forthright and honest, instead of just kind of like playing those games. Because it's not only it was getting old for me, but I could feel it getting old for him, but I did not trust myself enough to keep going because of the way that I was taught, number one, and then number two, how scary it was. Because if you know heartbreak, it's horrible. And so you don't want to be heartbroken again, and you don't know if the risk is worth it. So, yeah, man.
That's what it is. Yeah, you get in your own way. Because that fear of that dreaded heartbreak.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Your story made me think of... this is a friend who I am, like, secretly in love with. You know, casually. Justine knows all this mess. Fucking hell.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, that made me think of this, and that with him, same thing. I would keep my cards to my chest It's just very complicated. He's a friend.
Yeah.
It's just complicated. But I feel like I've self-sabotaged in a way in that situations have presented itself where I could tell him how I feel. But just out of fear or keeping the, I don't want to say the chase, but out of the fear, basically, of what could go
I was
wrong.
I was gonna say the fear of like the situations you've made up in your head, which is usually what happens.
Yeah, I've let opportunities pass for me to say something, and I just like haven't taken it, and I've almost become like paralyzed, and I'm preventing myself from getting answers about how he feels or what this can become, and blah 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 blah, and I'm basically standing in my own way. On top of it just being very complicated with the friendship thing, whatever. But yeah, I think it's the same, very similar to what your experience you're talking about, in that you passing up opportunities to just be clear with how you feel, and passing up opportunities to just be vulnerable with someone. Yeah, but instead we're self-sabotaging out of fear of guarding our hearts. And, we literally just said, Annalise, why didn't she guard her heart? What the fuck?
Exactly.
And we're doing that, but we're doing that to a disservice to ourselves. Exactly. Is basically what I'm trying to get at. Because you do have to step out of fear sometimes and just take a risk and just put it all out there. Enough with the games and the chase bullshit. Like, we already know that doesn't work. And sometimes with a friend that you might have feelings for, you gotta just bite the bullet and say something. But
you gotta just go ahead.
It's fucking complicated.
Yeah, much harder, much easier said than done. Sorry. And also going back to Astrid, she said I love you first. She was like skipping down to that bed to go see that fantasy suite. But then when he broke up with her, she was like, well, I'm leaving. Yep. Same with Joe. He was like, there's no point in staying here, so I'm just gonna leave. Like, both of them they took that risk. They fell hard in love, and then they were like, you know what, it's okay, I'll get back up, I'll get over you eventually, but what you're presenting to me is not what I want, so I have to leave. And they both got their loves back. So that's just proves to you what we said about desperation, that your self-worth is really the most important thing at the end of the day. I think also, that's a good point. I think also Astrid and Joe, I feel like they're not dumb. They could see the self-sabotage that was happening. They're literally watching the person that they love self-sabotaging. And it's just, when someone's in that mindset, it's just so much energy on your part to try and convince them otherwise. You're like, you know what, I'm gonna let you just internally combust and let this shit go to rot. Hopefully you come to your senses and come back, and hopefully I'm still here. But if not, good luck to you. But clearly you have work to do on yourself, and I don't want to be a part of this. And it's not my responsibility. And it's not my responsibility. So I feel like that's why they were both like, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm not even gonna try and fight for this right now, because you clearly have shit you need to work on your own. Yep. Yeah. Self-sabotage, man. Yeah, that shit is triggering. It's a heavy one. Oof. Yeah. Yikes. Send us your questions. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I know. I don't want to talk about that shit either. Oh, God. Email 2blackgirls1rose@gmail.com. If you need some advice, if you're currently going through it right now. Because you know what? John is the opposite of self-sabotage. He was out here dating everybody, so. That's true. Venmo John was really out here. He didn't sabotage shit, so. Not a damn thing. So I'm really curious to hear his perspective. Yep. On this mess. All right, let's move into our fourth theme, which is the question, do opposites attract? The age-old adage. I feel like everyone has an example. Everyone knows a couple that is just so different and somehow they work. Yeah. You know? Like the puzzle pieces that just fit completely together. Yes. My aunt and my uncle are complete opposites. My aunt is like super conservative, God-fearing church girl. Like, my mom's like the wild rebel compared to her. Like, she's very, like, strict, put together, like all the way buttoned up, whatever. Her husband, my uncle, he is the Jamaican version of like a Southern California surfer boy. Oh my god.
Except he's old and Jamaican, and instead of surfing, it's fishing. But he is
Aw.
lives at the beach, lives on his boat, loves to fish,
Yeah.
wears flip flops, backwards hat, like totally like a man boy in a way. Just like
I'm
from his
picturing like
appearance.
Lee Scratch Perry,
What'd you say?
but younger. Like Lee Scratch Perry, but younger.
Who's that?
You don't know Lee Scratch Perry?
Lee Scratch Perry?
Yes,
fuck is
Jamaican producer icon. Scratch. Yeah, Lee Scratch Perry. He's 82 years old and he's still out here like producing whole albums. He's on tour.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Let me see. Google that real quick. Oh my god, so cute.
Isn't he adorable?
Oh. Oh wow. No, he looked like a hip hop, like he looked like an old Flavor Flav.
Kind of, yeah, but he's got a very boyishness
to him.
attitude about him.
Yes. So yeah, that's my uncle. He has a very kind of boyish vibe to him. He's very beachy, fishing, whatever. And my aunt is like literally complete opposite. Somehow they work. It's adorable. Got 4 kids and everything.
Wow.
So yeah, everybody has examples of those couples. I feel like we also all have examples of couples who are like so similar and then they work too. So the whole opposites attract. Like I feel like there's exceptions to the rule. Like there's no answer to this, in my opinion. On Paradise, in terms of opposites, I would say Joe and Kendall, a little bit of opposites there.
Oh yeah.
Joe, man of few words, very simple, regular schmegular Joe. And you got Kendall, who is a woman of many thoughts and ideas and feelings and interests.
Yeah, she's very curious.
Very curious. And Joe is like very simple, and she's like the opposite of simple.
Yeah.
And somehow they work. They're still together.
Yeah.
Very cute. I would say Kendall and Leo, that was some bullshit that they were trying to make happen. That was definitely opposites. That was not attracting and looked very odd.
They did try to make it Tarzan and Jane.
They really
for
tried.
a long time.
She's the gentle little hippie flower child, and he's like fucking. He looked like a warped version of like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't he?
Who wasn't he abusive in that relationship?
Yes. He was exactly the same. He was big with a big old ego, no respect for women, and so yeah, that was an example of opposites that did not attract Kendall and Leo. And then I'd say, I mean, there's also couples that were very similar that worked. So Astrid and Kevin, I would say, are both very mature, cool, calm, collected people.
Yeah, they were both like the therapists of the group.
Yeah, they were like those people for their, perspective
Their
clan of
gender,
guys and girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they were very similar. They hit it off. So again, I don't think there's an answer to the question, do opposites attract? There's always exceptions to it.
And I think it depends on what you're opposite about, too.
Yes.
Because you can be opposite in the way that, like, one is organized and one is messy. But if you're opposite in any way which would hinder your relationship, like how you want to raise your kids, that's a problem.
Like values can be opposite.
Yeah, can't be opposites.
Yeah, there's more legal ways to be opposite, like personality traits, but not so much values. That's definitely not going to work.
Yeah. I
would say... I definitely think you are, we do have a tendency to be attracted to people who are different from us. So I guess the basic question, do opposites attract? Yeah, I feel like people definitely are attracted to their opposites because they represent like unfamiliar territory, a little mystery. Yeah. You kind of see your strengths in them, or, your weaknesses are strengths in them. Or
are their strengths, yeah.
Or your weaknesses. They seem to compliment you in a certain way that's just attractive. I think just like naturally. I'll give an example for me where, in terms of one of the qualities that I look for in dating. So I've talked about this. I'm definitely a very much an introvert. Shout out to the INFJs out there. We've had some people email.
I know. Yeah, you guys claim to be introverts, and then you guys are all up in the inbox saying your whole life.
Yeah, I am a textbook INFJ. Love it. Represents. Shout out to all the INFJs. A couple of y'all have emailed, and we've kikied back and forth. But I'm definitely more of an introverted person. I work in a very social profession, so like I obviously can like talk and do things, but I'm way more reserved and like my me time, and definitely being around people does drain my energy, so I need to recharge, and I need a lot of alone time. That's just like, sorry, I cut people off very easily, so I can just sit and eat Domino's and watch Netflix. But really,
that's what you need to do to recharge, friend.
That's my recharge.
Fine.
Yep. So because of that, because I know that about me, when it comes to dating, I tend to be definitely more attracted to extroverts.
Yeah.
And as it relates, I'm very much obsessed with like Myers-Briggs and all this shit. So I already know like my compatible match is someone who's an ENFP. And a lot of my best friends, you're not an ENFP. I forget what you are.
Me too.
FJ maybe. But 3 of my closest friends are ENFPs, and we like work very, very well. And so I just know this about me. Like one of the things that, as an opposite, that works for me is the introversion, extroversion. Like I need to be with someone who is definitely more extroverted. So a little story, I might have told this story already. I don't remember. But a few months ago, I went out with a guy who was definitely a strong eye. He was definitely an introvert. And it was different for me because I could tell from the first date that he was more reserved. He was very similar to me in his like introversion, and in fact we bonded over our social anxiety that we both used to suffer from like in college. I feel like he had it worse than me. I came out of mine in college, but we bonded over our just like social like weird shit. And I recognized that we had that very similar, even though this was a quality I usually go opposite on. But I was like, you know what, let me keep going for it. Let me try it out, try something different. And it just didn't work. I ended up, we went on a couple dates, and then I ended up, break up, but like ended things, I guess, with him, because that was a quality that needed to be an opposite for me. Like I tried someone who was similar with me, and it just didn't. I just found that that there was an attraction that was missing. I need someone who's more outgoing, bubbly, more on that wavelength, and can bring that out of me. Versus someone who's a little bit too similar to me in that way. So,
because it's not bringing the best out of you.
Yeah. I need someone who's going to get me off the couch, not sit on the couch with me.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So
I guess I would find that in the way that I crave or really want someone who's very much so textbook masculine, because I'm very textbook feminine. So feminine qualities I'm not attracted to whatsoever, because I feel like I already like possess them all. Like I just feel like I've got that covered. So
I can totally see that for you. Yes, you're a very quote unquote girly girl, I would say.
Yep.
In terms of like your interests and just like the way you carry yourself. Like I look like a fucking heathen banshee compared to Justine, you guys.
Whoa.
Justine has like a whole morning routine, a nightly routine. Like she always smells good. I like barely showered today. I'm wearing overalls. Like I haven't shaved. Like I'm a mess.
Oh my god, I love your overalls.
So yeah, I could not see you with someone who wasn't just the manliest of men and whatever toxic masculine like bullshit that we've been socialized
I just have to get myself like a Kevin who like looks on the outside like manly, and then on the inside he's a therapy twice a week crying. I just have to
I think
I need me one of those.
You need one of those. You need the balance.
Because I also have a hard time, even though I'm like textbook girly girl, I have a hard time letting my emotions go to people. I have this exterior that's usually hidden by humor of like, I'm not going to show my emotions. I usually hide it with humor, which is like a family history thing for sure. We laugh through everything, everything, deaths, tragedies, financial woes, everything we laugh through. So humor has definitely become a defense mechanism for me. So I need somebody who's going to break down that wall, who may be more in touch with their emotions and more willing to share than I am.
That makes sense. Yes, that's definitely an opposite quality. that you
Yep.
definitely need to go for. But on the outside, he has to be like super burly and like
Yeah.
textbook man.
Yep.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Now that we've talked
Yeah.
about like toxic masculinity and
Isn't your head warped?
yes, not even just toxic.
Yeah.
After our email from
That question.
about from our last mailbag episode that you should go listen to if you haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
The girl who is fully in a relationship with somebody who just presents a little bit more effeminate, and that just has had my whole, shit all up and down.
And I almost want to like interview them because I'm like, what does that mean? Because her version of effeminate, she was naming all of these qualities, and I'm like, I could see how you could think that's effeminate from past relationships that you may had, but it's not effeminate. It's just being a human being.
Right, yeah.
Who's in love with someone.
Because of what we know of how men are socialized and that they don't talk about feelings. They're not, they're not usually warm and fuzzy or whatnot. Yeah. I think she had somebody who's like on the complete other end, who's like totally in touch with emotions and feelings. And for her, that's coming off as effeminate. And yeah, I totally get it and see it, and it made me check my own, prejudices on how I deem men feminine or masculine or those types of qualities. Yes, interesting stuff. Yeah, is that it?
I think that's it for If Opposites Attract. If you have an opposite who maybe you're attracted to, and maybe you don't know what to do. Maybe you're freaked out. Who knows? You don't know what to look for. Maybe you're an INFJ. You don't know if you want to look for any, whatever that means. Email. The number 2, blackgirls1rose@gmail.com. I wonder if Venmo John has done this Myers-Briggs equation.
Oh, let's include
He seems
that
like
in
he's
our
into
questions.
equations.
Yes.
He probably...
Oh, okay. I'm going to type him in my head, and then I'm going to make him guess it. Or I'm going to make him say what it is, and then I'm going to guess if I was right. If I'm good at this.
Yeah.
Because I love this shit. Okay. Let's move on to our last theme, which is such a nice one, I think.
Oh, this is a good,
favorite.
Juicy one,
Yes.
guys. Female friendships.
Yay! Girl power!
Yay! And it was a big theme on Bachelor in Paradise, and we'll get to it in a second. But as you guys know, Natasha and I both met each other at all-girls school.
Sure did.
So we have, I think, a very strong knowledge of what we look for out of female friendships, and also like what kind of components have to be there for a female friendship. So, as we said before, Astrid was friends with everybody. She was everybody's real friend. She was like, what's this girl's name? What was this? Shoshana. Shoshana, girl, you got to go on a date with somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay?
She was stepping in.
Like, you have to do this. She was stepping in at the right time for everybody. Raven and Tia was my favorite show.
Yeah. That was great.
Show of female friendship. I think that was awesome. How Raven was like, he ain't shit.
Yeah. That was like her for real friend. Like, they friends.
Yes! That was her friend. And she met her on the show, but that was still her friend for real.
No, that's
she
her
was
friend
like,
from Arkansas.
oh, that's right. That's right.
friend.
Sorry. Yeah. But she was the one who was like, I want you to be treated how I get treated every day by this man who I never thought I'd be in love with. And right now, this man is not going to give this to you.
You are better than this. Get your ass together.
You are better than this man. You're better off alone. But throughout the show, there would be girls who were either like ride or die for each other, and who just became kind of glued together, like Olivia and Shoshana, right? Weren't they like best friends at one point? And then there were girls who would push each other off a cliff.
Yeah, Chelsea and Annalise.
Oh my God, Chelsea and Annalise over
Stupid ass Camille.
Camille. I always want to call him Kirby.
What? Fuck name.
Camille. Camille is foolishness. Angela and Cassandra after loved it after they
were
kind of commiserated over Eric.
Comparing notes. That was one of my favorite
Yes!
scenes ever. That whole...
Comparing
It was
notes.
after Cassandra's date with Eric. They came back, had a whole debrief. And
Yep.
them bitches was comparing notes with each other. It was such a beautiful moment. I loved it.
It was. And Cassandra was not new to this. She was true to this and got everything Angela was saying, which was awesome.
Sure did.
One of the moments, though, that I found was very telling about the women in the house was the first episode when it was Tia and Kendall sitting there like, I hope Crystal doesn't walk in. Oh my God, I hope Crystal doesn't walk in. Crystal walks in there like, oh my God, Crystal, hi.
So fake.
How have you been? So fucking fake. And Crystal was clearly there to like mend her reputation.
Yeah.
Because I definitely left Paradise thinking like, okay, Crystal's not a complete and utter psychopath. She's
a real person.
kind of got caught up in the Bachelor, whatever, warp.
And by the end, she seemed to get along with everyone, it seems like. Like, even after Gospel Chris, like, quote-unquote, cheated on Tia with her. Remember when he, like, he was still dating Tia, and then he, like, went and made out with her one night? Her and Tia didn't, like, get into this whole fight or anything like that. They were just like, all right, well, he ain't the one for me. Girl, you can have him. Let's go get some tequila. Like, they got over it real quick. I liked seeing that. It didn't turn into anything ugly. I hate seeing girls get ugly with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, especially over men. It's horrible.
Especially over men.
It's never worth it, ever. Bibiana was everybody's coach. Meanwhile, she was not looking for love for herself, but she was out here.
She was there for the girls, trying to get them through.
Yep. Oh my God. And then even at the very end, during the, I guess it's, what is it? Bachelor in Paradise tell-all?
Like
I guess it was called? With Tia, with that infamous meme saying, yes, bitch.
Yes, bitch. Yes. I loved that. I loved it. It was so nice to see them supporting each other.
Yeah.
Considering that they're on a show where they are actually each other's competition.
Right.
You know what I mean? And particularly since these women, as you said earlier, were seemingly really there for love compared to the guys who were there for who the hell knows. But those women were like very seriously looking for love, and they could have got dirty out here, but they still by the end seemed to mostly be supporting each other, and it was a nice display of, you know, female camaraderie.
For sure. Like when a new girl would walk in, they'd be like, I don't know about this. Like I remember when Cassandra walked in, and they were like, oh boy. But even Cassandra ended up having some friends at the end.
Yeah, it was all pretty much kosher. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all pretty good. So my personal experience with this is that a lot of my female friendships at all-girls school did not turn out so great. I was besties, almost sisters, with a girl all throughout high school who was a controlling, manipulative psychopath who, at the end in college, we stopped talking because she ended up being jealous of me. And this girl had everything you could ever want financially. But in terms of our family lives, we were very, very opposite and raised very differently. And she just couldn't hack it. I just had everything she couldn't buy.
Yeah.
And she couldn't hack it. And
And
we ended up not being friends anymore.
Yeah, that shit was wild. Yeah, it's funny when people... Jealousy's a bitch, man. Jealousy's really a bitch. And especially when you're watching someone so close to you, you're watching their life, and you're only getting an image of their life. And, like, as you said, for her, she seemed to have it all. Like, financially, everything was all good, hunky-dory. She had everything she ever needed, very privileged. But her family life was a little messy. Versus your family life is very tight-knit. You guys, you have a really good relationship with both your parents, I'd say.
Yeah, and my brother.
And your brother as well. And so she was watching that, and that was her source of envy. And she couldn't take that shit. And I don't know.
She could not handle that she couldn't get one over me. Like, she couldn't buy it. you know, because at the end of the day, anybody can win the lottery and then be one up over you in a money sense. So that will never be enough. But also that brings me to the next point, which is that women cannot be jealous of each other and be friends.
No.
I have a firm belief in that. If you are jealous of another woman, there's no way you'll ever be her friend.
No, you can't be jealous of another friend. Like, stay in your lane. Watch your own life.
Yeah.
Put the blinders on. Put them up.
Yeah.
Everybody's living their own life on their own path. Why are you watching the girl next to you? Do you? You're on two different life planes. Like,
Which it's easy to say that when you're successful in multiple ways, but if you're at a point in your life when you're maybe at a transitional period, or you're at like a planting period or a sowing season, as they say, it can be easy to look at your friends who are growing and prospering and saying like, oh, why does she have that and not me, or you know, whatever. And in that case, both of us clearly have the belief that women cannot be friends.
yeah, right. If you're looking at somebody in an envious way in that way, then you're not a good friend to them. If you're looking at their success,
or yourself,
if you're looking at their success and are envious of it rather than being happy for their success, that's on you, and that's not good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What about you, friend? Your
Yes,
experience?
I love women. I'm such a girl's girl.
Woo!
Like, I would say the only time in my life where I had a lot of guy friends was the year I was living in Australia. Other than that, for the most part, I've always just been constantly surrounded by girlfriends and just girls. Yeah, very much a girl's girl. I will drag a nigga under a bus to save a fellow girl in these streets. I say, so, particularly when it comes to female camaraderie and all that, you know, good stuff, I would say there's definitely, we've talked about this, a sisterhood among black women, for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we've been having, I don't know, just call it a moment. We've been having the longest movement, I would say, since Michelle Obama. She's out here. Beyonce, Viola Davis, Serena Williams, Issa Rae. Like, we've had so many just, like,
Taraji,
stars.
Regina Hall.
Yes, stars just out here killing it and just really putting us on a platform and being celebrated in a way that black women should always be celebrated, but we just haven't in a way in media in such a blatant way. That I love seeing that, even just black sisterhood. And as I said, I will drag a nigga under the bus for anybody. I will particularly fight somebody I will fight for a black woman before I do the same for any man. Sorry to my white sisters before I do anything for y'all, because
no, sorry guys.
55% of y'all vote for Donald Trump. I ain't never gonna forget that shit. Just putting that
Never.
out there. But loved seeing the display on Bachelor in Paradise, and I think even particularly now in 2018 with all the mess that's happening, women more than ever need to come together, and female friendships and female support is just ever so needed. I mean, I can go off on a tangent, but I'm just going to try and rein myself back. And
I think, too, just to add to that quickly, black women as a sisterhood also mutually denounce people. So, like, Stacey Dash and Omarosa are mutually, like, they are
canceled collectively by all black women on this planet.
Forever. You've got to go.
Yes.
And, like, white women haven't done that with, like, Ann Coulter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they haven't canceled her.
Yeah.
And they need to cancel her.
Yes. Collectively by...
Or they haven't collectively rallied with Stormy Daniels when they really need to.
I think also, though, when it comes politically, like, black women, politically, socially, like, I don't know what the percentages are, but I would say a smooth 95% vote in a very progressive, liberal way. So we just have that bond in general. Among white women, there's more division. The divide of Democrat, Republican is like 50-50, just like it is among men, I would say. So that sisterhood collective that we have, that we move in the same direction, you know?
Right. That is best for us.
That is best for us.
Yeah.
White women, there's more division there. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all going through, but get it together.
Well, we know, but that's not about what this podcast is about. This is about The Bachelor. So.
So yeah, female friendships, I feel like they definitely come in handy when it comes to dealing with men, and we definitely use each other as supports to get through the bullshit that we deal with men. I have personally been on the floor of a club bathroom crying with a friend.
Yikes.
Over some ancient man.
Oh no.
I have, to this day, I hold my friend to this. I missed one of the parties of the year in Australia. A guy that I liked was going to be there. We were texting. I was so excited. I missed that damn party to support my friend who was dealing with some bullshit with the guy that she was dating.
You know what? Oh my God.
And I still, to this day, I clown her for that. I'm like, bitch, I missed that pajama party. I'm so fucking mad. Because I'm in the corner crying with your ass. But that's what you do.
Right.
When you're trying to help your friend who's dealing with some guy.
Yeah,
who
she's going
ain't
through
shit.
something. Yeah.
I've coached many a friend through breakups, helped craft texts, craft letters of feelings, just all the things in the name of female friendship. And we need to continue to do this and be there for each other. And I love it.
Always. And I can't imagine being one of those women who, like, gives up her female friendships to hang out with her boyfriend.
Ugh. Or those women, we've talked about this before, those women who are like, I don't do girls. Girls are catty. Like, I only hang out with guys. Fuck you, bitch.
Girl, that's you.
You can't hang out with me. How about that? Because the problem is you, my friend.
The problem is you.
Period. Point blank. So yeah, female friendships. Great theme. Ended on a positive note. A lot of negative mess that's come up on Paradise, Bachelorette this season, but I think one of the redeeming things was definitely seeing all the female support and the women supporting each other on Paradise. And yeah, it was very refreshing to see, particularly on a competition dating show where they're competing against each other. For them to be showing out for each other in that way was very nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that it, friend?
That's it. Those are our 5 themes.
5 themes, y'all.
Oh my God. So if you're having problems with your friends, if you're having female friend problems.
Yes, if your friend is jealous of you or she's just being a fucking bitch and you want us to talk you through how to tell her about herself, send us an email.
The B in that bitch.
Email the number 2 black girls, the number 1 rose @gmail.com. As we said, Venmo John will be here next week, everybody. We're so excited. He will be here to help answer your questions. So if you have any questions, concerns, need advice on anything dealing in your life, particularly as they relate to these themes, please, please, please send us an email. You have a week to get your stuff in. And as always, rate, review, subscribe. Help us build this community, grow it. And if you haven't written your review yet, just go do that. That's one of my personal favorite things is to scroll through the reviews and see what new ones are there. And I just love the shit that you guys write. Love the feedback.
And we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The Twitter is the number 2 BLK girls, the number 1 rose. And Instagram is 2 black girls, 1 rose, number 2, number 1. Same with Facebook.
Yep. And we'll be back next week with Venmo John.
We'll be back. Woohoo!
Yes. All right, guys. This was fun. Talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye.